Hello, everybody. My name is Tobisatsu, and welcome to part one of my 2026 Physical Media Collection Showcase. Today, we're going to go over my Tokusatsu and Kaiju media. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So starting off with the Toku side of the Physical Media Collection, we go over my Godzilla set. I have the Criterion Showa era set, which I'll put some quick B-roll of that up, but there's a good chance you guys have already seen that, so I'm not going to really spend much time on that. But starting off with the things on the shelves, we have the Criterion release of Godzilla 1954. We then have the Japanese 4K release of King Kong vs. Godzilla. We have the FYE release Steelbook of King Kong vs. Godzilla. The 4K Japanese release of Invasion of Astro Monster. And if you're curious how I watch these Japanese Blu-rays, my Panasonic is set to allow external subtitle playback, and then I also have a Plex server that I use. After that, we have Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster, or obviously Ebirah, Horror of the Deep. We have Destroy All Monsters, and I own both versions, meaning I have the ones with and without the special features included. My main version being the one without special features. Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, or Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Godzilla on Monster Island, Godzilla vs. Gigan, and then Godzilla vs. Megalon. Now we cut into the Heisei series, so we have a Japanese Blu-ray of Return of Godzilla. We have the Criterion 4K release of Godzilla vs. Biollante. Pretty cool to have that on an American release. We have Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah and Godzilla vs. Mothra. Now we cut into the Sony 2-packs. So we have Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 and Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Godzilla vs. Destroya and Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. Because of how the double packs are split, I kind of have this funky. But next I have the TriStar Godzilla 1998 4K Steelbook. We have Godzilla 2000. Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. And Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. Godzilla Tokyo SOS, and Godzilla Final Wars. We have the G-Kids 4K Collector's Edition of Shin Godzilla, which is a really solid release. I'm happy to have that in the collection. We have the anime trilogy, so that is Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle, and then Godzilla Planet Eater. We have the Godzilla Store Japanese exclusive set for Godzilla -1. I then have a separate smaller release with the commentary tracks. And then finally, we have the Godzilla Fest Godzilla Short 5-pack from Japan. Next up, we have the Monsterverse releases, all of these being in 4K, starting with Godzilla 2014. Shut the back off on this one. Kong, Skull Island. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Godzilla vs. Kong, and I love the art on this steelbook so much. So sick. And then Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. Then we have the Mothra films. So we have the Mill Creek Steelbook release of Mothra, which is a printed slip, which is cool. And then the Rebirth of Mothra trilogy on Blu-ray. This goes for quite a pretty penny now, so I'm happy to have this in the collection. We have the Arrow Gamera sets. So we have the Showa era, which includes all the films listed here, as well as the Heisei set, which includes all the films listed here. I then also have the Gamera Advent of Legion Japanese 4K. Really happy to have that in the collection. As well as this obscure Gamera DVD, that being Gamera and the Council of Gigantic Bio Creatures. Easily one of the coolest finds from my trip in Japan. We have some Evangelion Blu-rays. So we have Evangelion 1.11, You Are Not Alone. Evangelion 2.22, You Cannot Advance. And then my steelbook copy of Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.11, Thrice Upon a Time. Now we get to some generalized Kaiju 4Ks. We have here Cloverfield, which really nice transfer in the English 5.1 track on this is bonkers. There's some really good lows in it. That's like a reference quality 4K, which also goes for Pacific Rim. I'm going to be checking this out again soon, if I could speak English, because I've been binging Del Toro's filmography, so excited to watch this again. Not so excited about this, but Pacific Rim Uprising, not a good sequel at all there, unfortunately. We have Rampage, kind of a very unspoken film, but a fun one. We have some Vinegar Syndrome releases. So we have Gorgo. We have Reptilicus. The back of that. I love the art on that one. And then Yonguri, Monster from the Deep. Nice art on that too. Focus for you guys too. There we go. We then have Frankenstein Conquers the World and King Kong Escapes. Continuing further with the generalized Blu-rays, we have Rodan with this very funky, sparkly slipcover, which I do like, but interesting. We have the Japanese release of Shin Kamen Rider. The Raven Banner release, Shin Ultraman. Really happy to have this piece in the collection. I absolutely love this film, so really happy to have that. We have the, what is it, the Toho Toku 4-pack, something like that. You get Varen, Gorath, Dogora, and then Space Amoeba, all on Blu-ray. It's a really cool set. We have not that good of a film, What to Do with the Dead Kaiju. Kind of a disappointment, if I'm being honest, but a cool find in Japan. And then we also have X from Outer Space, which is a fun little film. Next, we have my SRS Cinemas collection. They're a company out of upstate New York, so I do like to kind of keep these releases together. So we have the Blu-ray release of Hoshi 35. Monster Seafood Wars. Nezura 1964, which is a pretty fun mockumentary. Definitely worth a check out if you like kaiju stuff. We have Raiga Oga Giant Monsters Attack, which is a 3-pack for the films listed here. Super Legend God Hakosa. War of the Ninja Monsters. Jaron vs. Gura. Not that good, I'll be honest. We have The Whale God. This is on Blu-ray as well. Pretty fun slip. I like the pics they used on that. And Yuzo, The Biggest Battle in Tokyo, which I actually recently rewatched as well. Honestly, not like a fantastic kaiju film, but as like a oddball comedy, really, really enjoyable. Going to DVDs, we have Attack of the Giant Teacher, The Great Buddha Arrival, which will be upgraded at some point because this is a fantastic, almost like art house kaiju film. Highly recommend that one. Gun Caliber, like a Filthy Frank Kamen Rider, really interesting movie. Space Monster Wangmagwi. War of the God Monsters. And now we cut into general DVDs. So we have Croczilla, which includes the additional films listed on the back. Dragon Wars D-War. I'm assuming this is a kaiju film. From memory, I believe it kind of is, so I have that listed there. We have King Kong 2005, which is in a heavy need of an upgrade. Sci-Fi Creature Classics. I love the art on this, which is the main reason I have it. Which comes with the films on the back. We have the Ultraman 4K Discovery set, which begins our descent into my Ultraman collection, starting with Ultra Q, which these I'm hoping to get replaced this year, these steel books, because the way that they pack the discs, not big on it. Really kind of scary, to be honest. We have Ultraman. And then Ultra 7. Next up, we have Return of Ultraman. And then Ultraman Ace. So I'm missing Taro and Leo, but again, I'll probably wait to just get the actual boxes for those. We have Ultraman Tiga. Ultraman Nexus. Ultraman Max. Superior 8 Ultra Brothers, which I am very curious to check out down the road, but I want to watch through these shows that are, I guess, not like vital to understand it, but it helped boost the enjoyment of it. We have the Ultra Galaxy Mega Monster Battle set. Ultraman Ginga, Ultraman Ginga S, Ultraman X, Ultraman Geed, Ultraman Taiga with a holographic slipcover, which is still so odd to me, but Ultraman Zet, which is a fantastic series. I really do like this. And Ultraman Blazar. Then we have the only other Blu-ray show set, which is Neon Genesis Evangelion. Now we cut into the DVDs. So we have Godzilla the Animated Series, the complete series. King Kong the Animated Series, only Volume 1. And then we have the Zone Fighter series. So Volume 1, 2, 3, 4, and then finally 5. Everything from here is duplicates or like additional versions of films. So we have the Funimation Blu-ray of Shin Godzilla, my initial copy of the movie. Shin Godzilla orthochromatic on Blu-ray. The G Kids 4K Steelbook for Shin Godzilla. And the Walmart exclusive glow-in-the-dark art Godzilla vs. Kong Steelbook. Next up, we have Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.11. This is the 4K G Kids Collector's Edition. My initial Blu-ray copy of Godzilla vs. Biollante. My original Blu-ray copy of Godzilla 2014. The Mill Creek Gamera trilogy on Blu-ray. This classic media copy of Godzilla King of the Monsters. My original copy of King Kong vs. Godzilla. This is the complete Toho Master Collection, so we start with the 1954 original. Godzilla Raids Again. Mothra vs. Godzilla. Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. A sealed copy of Invasion of Astro Monster. All Monsters Attack, Godzilla's Revenge. And then finally a sealed copy of Terror of Mechagodzilla. And then also part of the collection is Rodan and War of the Gargantuas. And specifically I have the Digipack edition. It's pretty cool. We have Invasion of Astro Monster from the Godzilla All Movie DVD Collector's Box. This is a really cool release and comes with like a massive box with goodies. And I went over that and I think it was my November haul, so I can link that if you're curious. Childhood copy of Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah and Godzilla vs. Mothra. Battle for Earth. This is for the English dubs. Another childhood copy. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla and Godzilla vs. Destroya. The Toho Godzilla Collection, Volume 2 with all those movies. The glow-in-the-dark art, Godzilla -1 from Walmart. My original copy of Gamera the Brave from when I was like 6, I think, at the time. Crazy. And then a Japanese Memorial Edition special like box set for Gamera the Brave. Next up are the VHS. So we have Godzilla Raids Again. King Kong vs. Godzilla. Godzilla vs. Monster Zero, which I love the art on this release. Son of Godzilla. Godzilla vs. Gigan. Love the art on that. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Godzilla vs. Biollante, which I found like a year ago for 99 cents at a Goodwill, so that was a really cool in-person find. Godzilla in 1998. Rodan. Mothra. And then finally, Gamera, Guardian of the Universe. Focused up. There we go. Finally, we have the box sets and miscellaneous stuff, so let me grab that. Like I said, finally we have the miscellaneous stuff, so this is everything I just have out like on display. We have the Ultraman vs. Red King Blu-ray collection. This is a jewel case copy of Godzilla vs. Mechagearus from Japan. We have my Advent of Legion collection. So we have Advent of Legion in a Japanese jewel case. We have Advent of Legion on Japanese VHS. And then Advent of Legion on Japanese DVD. Hands down, one of my favorite, I would probably say my favorite like Suitmation Kaiju film, so love having those in the collection. We have a red box edition of Godzilla King of the Monsters. We have the Ultimate Godzilla DVD collection, which is like peak nostalgia for me, so love having that on the shelf. And then finally, we have the two signed pieces I currently own. The first one being from the previous G-Fest. I got to see Ben Furuya, and I had him sign a copy of Ultraman VHS. And then a very odd one, that being Godzilla vs. Biollante, signed by Buffalo Bills defensive end Greg Rousseau. Which, to keep a long story short, I love Godzilla vs. Biollante. I wanted to have a signature from Greg Rousseau. People call him Groot. So instead of getting something Guardian signed, I thought, hey, Biollante is a plant-based monster. You know, I could kind of, I guess, get away with it. So definitely one of the more unique pieces in my collection. I love it more for it. So, and with that, that is the end of part 1 of my 2026 physical media collection. Part 2 is going to go over all the general releases, so if you're interested, be sure to stick around and check it out when it releases next week. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell to see more from me. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Tobisatsu, and I hope that you have a great day.